This dude could have been jailed for what he did in Egypt, but the results were awesome. Andrej Ciesielski was in the midst of climbing one of Egypt's most famous monuments when he heard security shouting at him to stop or else be arrested. But determined to complete his mission, he carried on anyway. After all, what he would see from the top would make it all worthwhile. However, the 18-year-old Ciesielski, who hails from Munich, Germany, is no stranger to daring climbs. Plus, the super-adventurous teen certainly has a head for heights. And Ciesielski documents all of his vertigo-inducing adventures on his blog. It's safe to say then that the plucky teen has performed some pretty impressive stunts and clearly has a lust for life. The places he's been and the buildings he's scaled are amazing. For instance, he's climbed the 88-story Jinmao Tower in Shanghai, China, and Tokyo's Rainbow Bridge, to name but two. What's more, all of Ciesielski's stunts are completed, it appears, without any safety equipment. Now, that takes some guts. After visiting Dubai and Hong Kong then, Ciesielski was ready for his next big adventure, and the globe-trotting adrenaline junkie decided to visit Egypt, one of the most ancient and culturally important countries in the world. Ciesielski arrived in Cairo in January of 2016. He'd booked himself into a hotel near Talat Arab Square and so headed there in a taxi from the airport after landing. Then, in what was effectively a test run for the main event, Ciesielski opted to scale a few of the Egyptian capital's tallest buildings. Indeed, from the top of the 614-foot Cairo Tower, the ground looked a terrifyingly long way away. Thereafter, Ciesielski made the short journey to the city of Giza, home of the world-famous pyramids. So, standing at the foot of the Cheops Pyramid, or the Great Pyramid, he prepared to climb to the top of this ancient Egyptian monument. And ancient is certainly the right word for it. Cheops is the oldest of Giza's three pyramids. Construction started way back in 2580 BC, with the structure, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, completed around 2 decades later. In addition to being the oldest pyramid at the site, Cheops is also the largest. In fact, as it rises for 481 feet, it remained the planet's highest structure for almost 4 millennia. Unfortunately for Ciesielski, though, climbing Giza's pyramids was outlawed in the 1980s. But while some guides have apparently taken brides from tourists eager to set foot on it, Ciesielski was planning to ascend the Great Pyramid alone. Flouting law in Egypt can of course have serious consequences. Anyone who illegally climbs the pyramids, for example, risks being landed with a 3-year prison sentence. But Ciesielski, who was armed with his trusty GoPro, ignored the warnings. Instead, he prepared for the perfect moment to attempt a daring and potentially dangerous, for there are no safety nets, climb. After scoping out the pyramid complex, Ciesielski decided to go for it. He was in fact seen by a few locals, but he clambered up the Great Pyramid's walls regardless. And it took him just 8 minutes to reach the top. The views naturally were staggering. It was absolutely surreal standing on top of one of the wonders of the world, Ciesielski said. I wanted to experience Egyptian culture, and I definitely managed that. Security guards, however, soon spotted the brazen climber and ordered him, very loudly in Arabic, to return to ground level. Although it took less than 10 minutes to climb, Ciesielski took a more leisurely 20 minutes to come back down. Needless to say, Egyptian authorities didn't find Ciesielski's stunt in the least bit funny. After taking the Daredevil to the station for questioning, however, he was eventually released without charge. His was a very lucky escape. But there was one pretty big consequence of Ciesielski's illegal climb. A month later, Egyptian authorities banned him from ever visiting the country again. Let's just hope, then, that he got enough sightseeing in this time around. Of course, the ban hasn't put the climber off of performing his stunts. In fact, since the Giza climb, Ciesielski has continued exploring the world, ascending a few impossibly high buildings along the way, including a 750-foot skyscraper in Hong Kong's Causeway Bay. Whether you agree with Ciesielski's illegal actions or not, his death-defying feats have certainly attracted quite a following. 6 months after posting a video of his Giza conquering to YouTube, for instance, it had received more than 2.5 million views. Encouragement, perhaps, for a similarly epic stunt in the not-too-distant future. Please don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell to receive everything that's new.